Bayo, and this presentation is going to be about 30 minutes. I want to try to make it short and sweet and hopefully deliver a lot of value to you so that you can use it as you proceed into the holidays. First of all, I want to say I definitely understand what it's like to work long hours, to feel like you don't have time to get in your workouts. Sometimes we're all squeezed like that. Busy New Yorkers. I've been training New Yorkers for about 4 years now in the city, and working in gyms for about 4 years, so I know how it is. First of all, a little bit about me. Like, I started with fitness as a soccer player when I was a little kid, and I grew up with martial arts, soccer, and all these different things. So I always had that background. So that's what brings into my passion for working in fitness. I have a certification from the National Academy of Sports Medicine, and also I'm a level 1 kettlebell instructor. And of course, Equinox, we even have more cumulative knowledge, so I'm transitioning into a Tier 3 trainer at Equinox. So hopefully that with this information, I've made it simple because we look at ourselves more as fitness coaches than just mere trainers. And the other thing is I have about 5 or 6 clients who are corporate attorneys. So, you know, I've heard a little bit about depositions and summary judgment and discovery and all these things. And unfortunately, some of these things stop clients from getting in and making it to their appointments. So I can understand the amount of hours that you put into what you do. But I do think that there are some ways that you can create some strategies ahead of time that will help you out with that. So this presentation here is about the 5 biggest myths that cause you to gain weight and get sick during the holiday season. And primarily, when I look at a myth, I'm thinking of something that's a belief that ends up affecting your action and your behavior. Because that's all we're talking about here, is just how often are you able to take care of your body, eat better, and just at the same time have a lot of energy and enjoy yourself as well. So in order to get there, though, I think there are 3 major steps that I want you to take away from this process so that you can understand it. And that's what they're going to be. So 3 simple steps to holiday fitness. 1, get clear about what you truly want. Because the biggest thing is a lot of people go into the holidays and it's just like, well, I'll try to make it, you know, maybe I'll gain 5 pounds, I don't know. If you decide and you get clear and you know what it is as your roadmap, there's absolutely no way that you won't have the best fitness that you want to have. Number 2, decide why and raise your standards from should to must. If you actually know why you're doing it, if you have a bigger reason, and I'm going to go into these in more detail, there's like, you know, a 90% more chance that you're going to fulfill your promise to yourself for the holidays. And number 3 is practice new holiday rituals and habits. We all come from different backgrounds, maybe different beliefs, different traditions. And, you know, we have these traditions that go on in the holidays, and we want to be part of our families, part of our friends, part of our communities. But sometimes there is a need to, I guess, augment or supplement what we do for the holidays with taking care of ourselves. So those are the 3 major steps, and we're going to start with number 1 here. So how do we get clear about what we truly want for the holidays? Well, first we have to break through the myths, right? Because these are the things that are constantly, you know, in our mind as we enter into the holidays. And let's talk about one of those major myths. 1, anybody? I'll wait until January 1st and just hit reset. You know, this is the biggest myth, and I think this is like the little pebble that's pushed down the mountain that turns into the snowball.
Yes.
Why is this that way? Well, we think that because we haven't, you know, accomplished certain things for ourselves during the year, we're like, man, if I couldn't get it done during the year, how am I going to get done with shopping, Christmas, Thanksgiving, all these different holidays, visiting family, traveling, maybe trying to get extra work done before you leave. So what do we do about that? Well, the first thing is decide now that you're going to set up a plan as you go along. I all know that you're probably thinking right now, I don't even have time. I don't know if I'm going to have time. But if you decide that, you could probably get maybe 24 1-hour workouts in the next 8 weeks, and that'll be sufficient to keep your metabolism where it needs to be. But we'll go a little bit further into that. Number 2, I'll fast all day and binge and feast. You know, we've done research on this. We know what people do. So if you say you're going to wait till January 1st, then the next question is, okay, well, if there's going to be all this food and everything, you know, what I'll do is I'll just kind of like not eat for a while, and then when it comes to the big meal, I'll pile it on, and then, you know, hopefully whatever happens. But guess what happens with that? When you starve yourself, your metabolism slows down dramatically. So your body's telling itself, oh God, I need to save, I need to preserve. So it's gonna, all the calories that you take in are just gonna stick. So what you want to do is eat small meals gradually as you go on, and actually eat a big breakfast on the day of, big meals and big holiday planning. Now let's go to number 3. Now see how these are stacking up. So after the big feast, the next day, I'll just run over to Equinox and do cardio and burn it off later. But when you try to do that, oftentimes if you haven't been working out as much, you haven't been stretching, this is a high potential for injury. And it really can be a problem, because if you haven't been doing resistance training as well, then your muscles are not preparing your metabolism to digest all these calories. So you're going to do some cardio, and chances are you probably won't even burn off as much as you thought you would. And I'm going to go into myth number 3 in detail further too. Number 4, drugs are far worse than alcohol. Now, I'm not assuming anybody in here does drugs. But what I'm saying is that a lot of people underestimate what they think alcohol will do. They very much do that. And when you look at cocktail parties, when you look at just the simple drinks here and there, it's always that one drink that leads to 2, that leads to 3, and then you're more intoxicated, that leads to 4 or 5. And this can really get out of hand. And alcohol is one of the biggest factors that causes dehydration in your body as well. And of course, adds a lot of calories as well, whether it's wine, beer, hard liquor, mixed drinks, cocktails.
Even if for every glass you get a glass of water afterwards?
That's what I'm going to go into that with the tips as well. But you definitely want to add water to the alcohol. But the first thing is just respect alcohol. Understand that it's going to have a major effect on the holidays.
He didn't explain. He told you about it.
And number 5, final 5th myth that we have to break through is, I'll probably get sick, it's flu season. Most people just think that you're just going to get sick anyway because it's the holidays, it's cold, and it's flu season. But here's the truth of the matter. If you really fortify your body and you do the right things correctly, you don't have to get sick. There's many people I know, trainers, people that are really into fitness, that, we're able to go without even getting sick all year. But even if you have gotten sick over the holidays, there's a chance for you to, redeem yourself and not have that experience. Why not go through it fun and enjoy the people that you're around and not have to worry about that? So, let's talk about real practical things here. Let's talk about myth number 3. So, first of all, let's go to Tom. Tom is a corporate attorney. He works among you. I don't know if anybody here is named Tom, but I'm not picking on anybody. Tom decides he's going to go to cocktail parties and eat 1 cupcake at each cocktail party. He figures, hey, I don't want to overdo it during the holidays. Let me just take in 1. Well, these 3 different parties have 3 different organizers. And the first party, they make a homemade cupcake. Homemade cupcakes, average around 295 calories. Not bad, right? So he has also a few drinks and, some other food and stuff. Moves on to the next party. And they're a little more elaborate. So they have like the bakery cupcakes. And the total fat here is 20 grams, saturated fat 12 grams. Just one of these contains more than half the recommended daily saturated fat limit. Yeah. So you have 585 calories at that party. He's eating just 1 cupcake at each party. Third party, they're a little bit cheaper, so they get like the store-bought, cupcakes. But still, 298 calories. Now, what does this mean, though? Let's say he went to these parties all in from one afternoon to night. Total 1,178 calories from 3 cupcakes. The biggest point I want to get across to you today is that we underestimate how much calories are in, let's say, junk food or holiday food or sugary foods. So what is Tom going to do? Remember, myth number 3, what he wants to do is burn it off later, the next day. So what does Tom do? He's like, he knows that this was a little bit much. So what does he do? The next day, Tom tries to burn calories at Equinox. So let's just say that Tom weighs 200 pounds, and that would mean he'd have to run 5 miles to burn 728 calories. Remember, that number was 1,178. And he'd have to jog for 1 hour at 5 miles per hour to do that. So he would need to run 10 miles in 2 hours to reverse the effect of 3 cupcakes. Not to mention the alcohol, coffee, and other holiday meals. So those put his calorie intake way above 3,500 from the day before. So we're consuming a lot of calories during the holidays. So here's the truth of the matter. he thinks he's working hard, but Tom hasn't worked out in weeks and he gets tired. A lot of times when we haven't worked out for a while, we haven't been on a regular program, what happens is we kind of stop a little bit earlier than we need to. His muscles are tight, he gets off the treadmill, his knees hurts. He only runs 2.5 miles. But guess what? He only burns 364 calories. So that's only one cupcake. And he wastes 2 more hours in the gym chatting and hanging out in our spa. And then the rest of
That's a good little
So
scenario.
here's the big problem. He feels like he worked hard. So, you know, there's a difference between what actually occurs and what we think. I have to get graphical so you can understand.
That's
Now,
good.
this is where the downward spiral occurs to depression. Tom is frustrated. He enters the holiday stressed, uninformed, hoping for the best with no planned strategy tactics, and he ends up basically miserable. He breaks his promise to himself, which is what this is really all about. Keeping that promise to himself, and guess what? His girlfriend breaks up with him. Ultimate holiday pain, right?
Tom should have ate cookies.
Yeah. But guess what? Guess what? Tom's ex-girlfriend Lisa does better. No, ex. Lisa is happy. Lisa uses her personal trainer's practical 8-week workout plan, sets up a strategy, has a wiser approach, and the next 60 days are the most enjoyable and fulfilling of her life. Ultimate pleasure. So there is a choice, right? So she uses grades and motor shoots and all of that. She's got the dumbbell.
This is really a good.
All right, so that's about clarity. So Lisa had clarity, Tom didn't. Lisa ended up in a better place as the holiday was going along. Pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we know what we want, right? We all pretty much want to be healthy and have a great holiday season and not get sick and be fit. But the question is, how are we going to do that and how we stay motivated? That's part of what this was about, holiday motivation. Well, I'm a student of Tony Robbins, who's been speaking on this stuff.